Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between. Welcome back to Geeks Watch. Um, Today I want to talk about the Netflix movie, K-pop Demon Hunters. Yes, I actually had watched this. I'd heard good things about it, so I figured, I'll give it a watch. I do like some. I'm a fan of animation, and I try not to be prejudiced about these things. So, mild spoilers, not too many. Um, the basic premise of the story is that demons are trying to enter the world and consume the souls of ordinary people. There's a trio of warriors, demon hunters, who use music to fight the demons off. And using music, they also create a barrier between this world and the demon world to keep them out. And over time, the goal is to create a barrier that is strong enough to be permanent. And every generation, there is a new trio of demon hunter warriors who sing. So, you went through like the Flapper 20s, you went through the 50s doo-wop bands, you went through the 70s up till modern era. And each generation has their own trio of female warriors who use music to combat the demons. The current generation is a K-pop band. And one of them, like the front person for the band, the lead singer, I guess you'd say, is a descendant of a demon hunter of the previous generation, and the woman who raised her was one of the previous generation's demon hunters. So during one of their performances, they noticed that the barrier is getting stronger. They call the barrier the Hunmoon, and they're working towards doing the Golden Hunmoon, which is the barrier that would be permanent. And they see golden ripples in the barrier. They think, finally, we can do the final song, and we can stop fighting demons for a while and just take a break and take a rest, because they're performing nonstop, yada yada yada. And the demons are not happy about this. They can still get into this world in small numbers, but they can't. Every time they try, they're caught by the demon hunters. So the Demon King isn't getting souls to feed on. He's not happy. He's not happy with his minions' failure for several generations. And one demon gets an idea to fight the demon hunters on their own turf, so to speak. They create a boy band, a demon hunter boy band, not even a demon boy band called the Saja Boys. The girls' band is called Huntrix. So they try to steal their fans to try and weaken their magic that keeps the demons out. And that's the basic premise for the movie. It's it's a battle of the bands, a battle of K-pop girls and boy band. And honestly, it was actually pretty good. It's not. I wouldn't say it's great. It's fairly simple. There's some decent moments to it, some decent heart. The music is. I have to admit, I don't like pop music. I'm not a fan of K-pop. I'm not a fan of boy bands. It's not my style. But it's catchy. It's got a good beat. It's got a good rhythm. So even though the music really didn't do anything for me, I think people who like that style of music would enjoy it. It's hard to me to give an honest review or criticism of the music. I mean, the vocalists sing really well. They have good voices. No complaints there. But like I said, I don't really like pop music. I have very, very few pop styled albums in my music collection. I have maybe like 3 or 4. So it's really not my thing. So I don't really feel qualified to review that. I want to say honestly. Maybe honestly is the best term for it. I'm not sure. I think though that because it's not my style of music, I didn't enjoy this movie as much as I could have. if I liked the music. I can certainly see why it's as popular as it is, because it was really well done. You know, I don't think it's as good as some of my recent reviews, like Iron Giant and The Incredibles. Um, this isn't a movie for everyone. It's computer animated, but they throw a lot of um, anime styled stuff into it. Mostly sight gags. You know, they're like when the girls get excited, like their eyes get really super wide, and um, they when they eat like really 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 fast. Um, the kind of these are common tropes in Japanese anime, especially the ones that are less serious or have less serious moments. Let's put it that way. Um, Japanese anime has it's a trope that, you know, they throw these non-serious, over-the-top, cartoony elements in there. Um, I'm not sure why, but they do. So it is a mix of CGI and those slapstick visual anime gags, and they pull it off really well. They really do. You wouldn't think that that's something that's going from the cartoon realism from CGI to, you know, cartoon goofiness um, would work well, because you're going from something that is physically has a theme to it and is at least tried to a certain element be represented realistically within the context of um, the aesthetic they're looking for, and then switch to something else. They do it in Japanese animation all the time. I just didn't think they could really do it well with CGI, and they did. They did a great job. This film isn't complicated. It doesn't handle a lot of really heavy emotional elements. There are some, but it's pretty shallow. It's no deeper than your average Disney film, which is not to say it's bad. You know, I love Disney films. I always have, but they're usually not um, not intellectually or emotionally deep. They're easy to digest, which is what I would say this is. So I realize I'm sounding very negative and very critical. I'm just trying to make sure I give an honest feel for what the film really is. Like I said, you got, you know, Demon Hunter band trying to create a permanent barrier. You've got, you know, the demon boy band trying to break this up and let the demons come back in to feast on human souls. You've got the personality conflicts within the band itself. You know, these three young women who are very different personalities. So you've got those interpersonal relationships there. You have, you know, the difficulties. You've got, you know, the thing that's stopping them from, you know, being a good solid group, that's interfering with them fighting the demons. It's, you know, it's pretty predictable. There are a few good moments, things that surprised me, but I'd have to give it a solid B plus to an A minus as far as that goes, because it is really well done. It's just not, in my opinion, great or awesome. It's just a good, solid kids film, I guess, that adults could enjoy if they went with them, as long as they could stomach the boy bands and the K-pop music. I don't know how well other adults would deal with that. I just know my own personal opinions of it. Yeah, no really need to. There's not going to be any deep psychoanalysis of this film, unlike some other films that I've talked about. So, I guess that's all I have to say about that. As always, thanks for watching. As always, my stuff is crap. And until next time, good hunting.